Hey Cancer, how are you doing? How are you doing? Let's find out. Just thinking. I feel like starting fresh. I got fresh energy as well. I went and picked up the Centennial edition of the Smith White, and I found out that Pamela did extensive work with someone that has been directly involved in my life. William Butler Yeats. I work with a bunch of authors, and he did me a very huge favor a couple of years ago. Gave me a huge gift. I know it was connected to him. It would be a bit much to explain it here and now. That's why I have a publishing label, self-publishing label, and 36 titles that I'm co-authoring and publishing. But she worked with him in theaters, in set design, for quite a while. And so I think I owe her a thank you. I feel it was a very significant time that I went and got this deck. So the energy, I feel quite wonderfully hers right now. Not that she isn't present for every reading that, especially that uses her deck. But yeah, they helped. Yeats helped me get, not me, but helped my most recent ex get a much needed home in County Mayo in Northwest Ireland. And Yeats is from Sligo, which is right neighboring. But the reason why I believe that he was particularly involved is more complicated than that. And for the energy of Taurus season, even though the sun is still in Aries, it's maybe just over a week into Aries. If you get Stellarium or Sky Safari for your phone, or Stellarium on your desktop, then you can see where the sun actually is. But this Alana Fairchild deck, let me grab the Wild Kuan, the pocket edition. I've said in other readings that I'm a picture maker and I like my pictures to be pictures, but I actually use a lot of lettering, hand lettering, calligraphy, multi-design stuff in my own work. So it's not accurate to say that I'd rather not have the words on the picture, but just in this instance, I really love the pictures as they are. It's a Chinese painter. I put his name in the description, and these are scenes from Tibet. So I'll hold them up to the camera. I'll put a clear one in the thumbnail, because I'm sure the lighting here, it might not get it straight on enough to get a decent thumbnail. And we will grab however many. This is I should say that Kuan Yin reminds me, she's a very gentle spirit. The story is that she chose to remain on Earth to help people through generation after generation after generation after generation. She carries for me similar, like the gentle side of the grandmother spider energy and the Kali energy. And her messages, Alana's messages through her or with her, pack quite a punch. And I find that about the gentle cards. They'll come in below the belt way harder than seemingly harsher cards. They really just do that Mother Earth thing of coming in, getting inside from, like getting where you weren't going to let someone get. Yeah? But Cancer, we have pointed out Kali to you before. And I feel like the water energies are particularly drawn to Grandmother Spider, to Kali. And she pulls them in to do heavy duty healing work. Because Kali is she's the child protector. She's the demon eater. So children are, and of course the multi-generational thing is, I don't know how we solve this in the end. But Cancer, I know you've been going through some heavy things. I'm trying to remember. I've got a total blank as to the review work. I just did review work. So maybe I feel like I just want to start fresh. That's what I feel like. So let's do that. Let's grab. Let's see. Venus is in Taurus. Mars is in Gemini. Mercury is still in Taurus. Is it? Or are they still in Aries? No, I think they've left Aries. I think the Sun is still back in Aries. Just. Yes. Okay. No. Okay, that's sliding, but I'm going to make sure that yours is very, very clear. Okay, that is nice and clear. Ah, the cover one. I already took a photo of this, and I wasn't sure why I already took a photo of it for a thumbnail, but here we go, right? So, the one that she chose to represent. Maybe that's enough. Let's just see if there's more than one. Oh, oh my, okay. That is clear enough for me. Okay. Let's see here. Hold that up so you can see her clearly enough, yeah? The detail work. And this is, I think it's usually Kuan Yin that's in the photos, in the picture, photos, in the paintings. And here she is as the little one. I don't know what's more exquisite than this. Let's just get her. There. And that's her as carrying that young energy, as you know, and countered against the older but still young sister energy. Yes, she is in her own right a force. Let's just test with a card. Oh, High Priestess. Your own energy, Cancer. Very good. Very good. As sharp as we can get it. Okay. Put that back in the deck. We'll put these up for energy. There was, okay, the one part that sticks out is the inner beauty work, the appreciating yourself, to capitalize on yourself. Yes, but that's going back a few readings. It's so interesting that just see, and if I need to, then I'll pause. If there's something that I'm wondering about that come out in the tarot, I'll pause the camera and I'll go get my phone and read the summary of my 5-month analysis. I did, if you haven't come across it, I did a 5-month review of your readings, or a review of your previous, you know, the past 5 months readings. And what's amazing is that there actually is a linear story. I mean, of course there should be, but, you know, sometimes you think, am I going to read for different Cancerians with different issues? How does this really play out? Okay, so I'm just breathing some energy into the cards. And breathe some into me. And let's find out. Okay, 8 of Pentacles. Proving yourself to yourself, this strength of 8, in career. I put this as Capricorn, not Virgo. I've talked about this many times. If you have questions, get in touch with me, because I don't want to bore you by saying it every reading. But, yeah, definitely career house energy. So a great deal of work. But again, I find that added meaning of proving yourself to yourself, and then the 9s, you prove yourself to everybody else, and in the 10s, you pull it all together. Let me just kill the fridge. And then we hope I remember to turn it back on. Simple. Okay, so what about this proving yourself to yourself? Is it to do now? It could be to do with home. Wow, that was beautiful. Is it a beautiful story? No. Well, it is what it is. So I take this as a free will card. That's what I've talked about before as well. My God, my guides, Kali, grandmother spider want me to add the meaning to this of sort of that the 6 is a gift, and in the Pentacles energy, the 3D energy, it's the give and take of whatever your soul contract is and how much you know of it and who you think you have it with and how much you're at peace with that. So I would say mine involves Kali, grandmother spider. I should say, and personified by Hecate as well. But so it's in reverse. So we're having an issue with and I would put this as Virgo 6th house. So there could be some problem solving that needs to be done. There could be some poor health. Routines could be out of whack. And there could be an imbalance. There could be imbalance at work. Which, if you're proving yourself to yourself, that does throw everybody else off. Because you're not pleasing everybody else right now. You're pleasing yourself. Okay. Flying out upside down. That's a thing. Like facing, they're flying out. That's 3 cards that are flown out facing. What do we have? Wow. Okay, so there's you. Okay, camera timed out, and I took the opportunity to go request that the streamer at the other side of my apartment bring his volume down 1/4 to 1/3. Okay, this is you. I'm presuming matching the reverse of this, or there's another water sign. Now, the sun's in the upright, so, okay. Instincts and triggers is how I put the sun. I mean, yes, it's the happiness card. We have divine timing here, as per my agreement with God and guides as to how to read this. Not just archetypal energy, but actual divine timing. Or they won't get these cards to show up, right? That's our deal. Now, is there a child involved? Maybe. Is there... Okay, so I'm getting home, sense of home now. This Queen of Cups. It's a Pisces energy. 12th house energy, legacy energy. Not legacy, that's Aquarius. The muse, the prophet, the prophetess, the creative, yes. The bridge between worlds. Why upside down? Matching that free will, soul contract, okay. Wow, right on top. Right on top. Gemini energy. Back to the 3 of Swords. Thinking the right thing, having the right idea of the truth, manifesting it, working around it. So, there's something that needs to be known. Very interesting. But of course, it's going to be an enigmatic read if we're not sure. Oh, I was going to say, where's the Hanged Man? With the Pisces energy in reverse, the soul contract, and here we have it. Okay. Have him upside down. Now, for me, I kind of like him upside down because then he's got this sort of magician, uber magician pose of like, instead of, and we've got the 4 there of stability and whatever else we want it to be. The halo of enlightenment. So the forced change of perspective. But it's, to me, it's like he's standing on, you know, almost in air, right? Floating, hovering, crossing this finish line. Yes. That's in reverse. That's in reverse. So I want to say, you know what? I just don't know. Are you? This is, and more divine timing. Okay, I'm gonna go get my notes for clarification. Get one more card. I mean, this is, it's all here. I just want background, and okay, sideways energy. I'm taking it sideways. Page of Pentacles, so Taurus energy, Taurus season perhaps. House of Finances. So there could be a child, there could be, there's young energy, there's amateur energy, right? And either an offer or somebody to consider if it's this child. Are we just broke? Are we financially strapped? Page of Pentacles sideways. So caught between page would be 8, 2, 3, 4 of Pentacles. So there's a guardedness perhaps. There's a sense of stability. There's a sense of manifesting, or there is manifesting. And clearly, because we've reached beyond the 6, we've reached beyond the 4 of Pentacles. We're at 6 in reverse, leading back to 5, which, okay, so that's making me think of the necessary change of 5 and being out in the cold. And then we have this 4 in reverse back to the 3 of manifesting. And maybe that heartbreak, yes. And maybe the Queen is heartbroken. And the child is happy. The instincts, yeah, okay. Scorpio energy. Necessary change. Here we have the change. So this change that we're talking about is, okay, so we've got this Cups energy, yes. Moving on or staying stuck in the past. Heartbreak. And see how these figures are crossing each other. So there's possibly heartbreak over a child. Don't have the Death card here. We have this forced change of perspective, but we've got this powerful transform. You know, like it's working. It's one more. That's we'll check it, but 7 of Swords. Transformation in thinking, right? Okay, in reverse back to the 6 of Swords. So you need a revelation. You need new, you need new information. Okay, okay. Let's just take that. Okay, so Sagittarius energy, 9th house energy, faith, healing. Obviously the 8. Again, we have an 8. Yes. Messages, of course, incoming messages, fast progress, but it's sideways, so it's paused. And of course, everything's paused. And so there's possibly, and there's communication pause between these two. Yeah. Proving yourself to yourself. It's interesting that we have the sun here, though, and not in reverse. Okay, I lied. One more. Okay. Okay. So instincts and triggers. I take this to be, okay, so Aquarius, legacy house, the bigger picture. Yes, it's an anxiety card, but for me, the 8, 9, 10, I've been looking for more positive interpretations based on the numbers, okay? And 9 is proving yourself to everyone else. 8, when she's blindfolded and stuck amongst all the swords, that's the Houdini card for me, and that's where she proves herself to herself. Like, she knows exactly, no matter, I mean, everybody else says that she's done it to herself, she's put herself in that energy, right? But I would say not necessarily, because there's evil in this world. So knowing what to say, not sure what to say in these 8 of Wands. Neither is sure what to say. Okay? And neither to prove yourselves to each other. Okay? The 8 of not knowing. So busy with work, busy with career. But the money, not the money, the work, the routines and the problem persists. We're trying to move ahead, but the problem persists and it's pulling you back. Yes, we start with the 8, but you're getting pulled back by the 6 in reverse, and it's all to do with this. And therefore, because the 5 is sideways and stuck. Yes, between the 4 of stability of cups and the incoming, the surprise gift, and the 6 of the gift from the past, and possibly from the child, possibly from ancestors or guides. Yes, and so we're suspended there, and that's why this queen is out of her element, because it's charted. This was a necessary perspective that you needed to get, a necessary change of perspective on this child and the child of you. Right? That's what happens with, yes, if I think back to even to what happened today with one of my clients, while I was in their home cleaning, then there's this altercation because the daughter did something as a young, as a 19 or 20-year-old that, she found out something the hard way from her friends, and a bit of an attack. And the mom was like, well, what were you even doing there at that time, and all that stuff. And one's a Libra rising and the other one's probably heavy water. And so, right? And that this Aquarian energy of stepping outside of the immediate and getting the big picture, that's what this 9 will do. That's what the 11th house does. This isn't for me because I switched up air and earth classifications in terms of cardinal, fixed, and mutable. So for me, because Aquarius is the 11th house, right there and then, forget Ptolemy. That makes this the level of 11th house thinking. Okay. All kinds of thinking, the mind is a mastermind, okay? So you're both really, really smart. You're both really, really smart. And that's the problem. But it depends on how well you know each other's charts. Yes, because we're going to get into psychological warfare, or just the generational concern of like, well, but I know better, or I know more, but you know, you can think fresher, and just getting to know each other. Getting to know each other, I mean, I have a 21-year-old. Getting to know each other, and he's a Libra, and he's a Libra Leo rising, and I'm a Taurus Scorpio rising, right? And constantly, okay, cut me off, but we're constantly, well, as I was, I watched him objectively while he was growing up to see what he was naturally inclined towards. Yeah, but even so, we're gonna, anyway, okay, so I see this as, did I get into the fact that you're both masterminds, you're both very, very smart, and I did back up the last segment to check the final things that I said, but you're both very clever, and that's part of the problem, right? So yes, do you know enough of each other's charts? That would be a really good thing if you sat down with your charts. Set it to, I've been in my astrology book that I'm working on. I've been monitoring the sun, okay, and it's still in Aries, and it didn't hit Aries until about the 20th of April. And so that throws off my Fagan Bradley placements for the Incense that I use for my chart, okay, for everybody's charts. So I experimented with the DeLuce and the Larry Eli, and I went with the Larry Eli, and I'm going to see how it plays out throughout the year. But I actually really liked the placements. It seemed to clear up some questions I had from even my most specific, and I use the Regiomontanus house system. Well, actually, I use a comparison. I use whole house and Regiomontanus, because whole house is actually quite helpful as well. And I like to do composite chart. Well, my pink spider charts are composite. So I always put 2 house systems in. And therefore you can, it's all approximates so much, right? Of course there's a precision to it. There's a precision to who you are. But because you're moving and you're living and breathing, and because everything was living and breathing when you were born, right? And in flux, then we have to allow for that. And intuitive thinking, right? Intuitive understanding, right? You get bits of the puzzle, you get puzzle pieces, and you don't necessarily cement them down in one place, because space-time is so much more interesting than that, yeah? And so really, I think that's what we're dealing with. I think we're dealing with coming to see each other not even as we really are, because I think you probably don't even have a full grasp of who you both really are. Like, it's going to change again once you step into this, right? But let's just see here what our oracles say. Grace within reach. Ah. Well, and this whole thing is looking like a mess, but it's okay to feel like a mess right now. To feel that you need help and to want to resolve whatever has troubled your heart or mind. My grace is within reach. As you ask for my help, I shall lift you into safety and peace now. Okay, so that Queen in reverse normally should be in full contact with High Priestess. And when I tested the card for focusing, yes, what card was out? High Priestess, right? So therefore, and I take that to be, again, now get specific about who you know. So what did I say before? If you don't know Kali, look her up. That was one of the titles back. Oh, was that the... I don't know if that was the solstice, the winter solstice reading, or before that with the solar and lunar eclipse. One of those two. So call on. You are one of a kind. Your own path will never be exactly the same as anyone else's. The type of frequency you hold is as individual as your fingerprints. What did they get me to ramble about in the chart work? Yeah? I mean, not that that's an unusual statement, but that uniqueness cannot ever be taken from you, co-opted by another, or compromised in any way. Relish your uniqueness and share it lovingly, freely, joyfully with the world. So there we have that Sun card, that emphasis of, celebrating yourself. And we were talking about before the inner beauty. Yes. And so, if there's not a child involved, then this is your inner child. Quite possibly. Quite possibly. So I might put that in the title, just because it took us a while to get there. And figuring out what about life is free will or soul contract, and what's fair or not fair. Right? What's fair or not fair? All this work that you're doing, does it feel fair? And if you don't, and once you're out of sync. So, yep, that is pulling another possibility out of this. So I would say both stories are probably true, and it's a question of which one is yours, or often they come together. So when you are trying to resolve something with your own child, you have to go in and resolve things with your inner child. Okay, Cancer. Wow, I feel really, really good about this one. Okay, I'll be back in 2 weeks. And this is for the first half of May. First half of May. Okay, much love, Cancer.